Hi, I'm Jacqueline and I'm here from Soak, and today we're going to talk about soaking and how you use it to wash your knits. So we use about a cupful per gallon of water. This is our fill basin. We have room temperature water. The key is not hot water because you don't want something to felt, but at the same time it doesn't have to be so cold that it's cold on your hands. So here we go. We're going to wash a sock today. We've got a little cloth towel. And the thing is once I finish knitting this, or once I finished knitting a pair of socks, me in particular, because it could take me 2 years, they've been everywhere. They've been on a plane, they've been on a bus, they've been in my office, they've been on the floor, and really our hands have touched every bit of this fiber. So before we wear these, before we gift something, to finish them and refresh them, we want to give them a soak. So here we go. I've got my basin, I've got my room temperature water, and I'm just going to have a little squirt of my soak, or a capful, in here. And you can see there's not a lot of suds in here. It's really gentle on my hands because we do come from a skincare background. So there's no buildup, there's no residue, there's no kind of slimy texture or feeling on our hands. And we're going to just put our garments in and soak. The key to soaking is that you really just want enough water in here so that the soak and the water can move freely around the garment. So with just a sock and a couple small pieces, that's great. If you were washing a sweater, you'd want a bigger basin. If you're going to wash several sweaters, you could do it in your bathtub or in a larger basin. You just need enough room for the water and the soak to kind of move around and flow. So we're going to soak them and we're going to pretend 10 or 15 minutes have gone by. The thing about soak is it's great. If you leave it too long, it doesn't make any difference. So don't worry about that. And sometimes you will get some over dye coming out from some of your yarns, and that's okay, because if there's excess dye, it's okay for it to come out in the water. You do want to wash your colors separate, so you don't want to put white socks in with red socks as an example. And we often get over dye in the washing machine. We just don't see it because we're not actually in the water here. So let's pretend these have soaked for 10 or 15 minutes. How do we take them out of the water? Water is actually really heavy, so we don't want to lift something out like this. We don't want to pull something and let the weight of the water pull on the fibers. So we want to scoop under the fibers and gently lift it up together. And that way our hands are doing the work, not the actual fibers. Because what we're doing is we're protecting the fibers. Soap protects the fibers. It's gentle. You don't have to rinse and squeeze and rinse and squeeze. So it makes the fibers last longer and does less damage. So a little gentle squeeze. It's really nice and fragrant in here as well. And then we're going to put it out on our towel. So you can see if I leave this, it's kind of can be shapeless, it can get pulled, it can get stretched. So we want to lay it on our towel. We're going to give it a quick roll to gently block out the extra water. Just nice and gentle. We're not doing anything hard or abrasive. If you've got something with buttons or zippers or any extra detail, you want to be particularly careful when you roll it out. And then in this case, we're going to use a blocker to frame our sock and to have it set out to dry. And so what the soak is doing is it's taking out any extra dirt or oils from our skin from the knitting process, and it's refreshing the fibers and allowing us to give it a proper shape so that it can dry and be ready to go. And you want to wash things regularly with soap. We often don't wash things like scarves or hats because we can't see them really getting dirty, but invisible dirt is accumulating on our fibers, and that's what makes them heavy and limp. And so soaking between uses and between wears every 3 or 4 wears refreshes the fibers and gives it renewed life. So we'll put this to dry like that. And you can see I'm not rinsing it out. This is a quick rinse or a no rinse wash. So you don't have to rinse and rinse and rinse and rinse, which is traditionally what we don't like about the hand washing process. So not a lot of bubbles, not a lot of residue. And you can see the blocking is so that something doesn't kind of distort and have a funny shape. So the same thing with this piece, we want this to be square again. And if you noticed before when we held it up in the beginning, you actually couldn't really see the pattern because when we knit, things are tight and we want to get the sizing out. And so this has become a totally different, beautiful knit structure once we actually soak it. The other thing that soak is great for is for pre-washing and swatching. You want to knit, swatch, block your swatches with soap before you knit, because then you really have a true idea of what the shape of the garment is. And so something like this, we have our blocking mats underneath. We want to square this up. So we're going to put it down whether we're drying it here on our towel or on a blocking mat. We want to take the time to give it its shape again and then let it dry that way as well. The other thing with knits is we never want to hang them because we don't want the weight of the water to pull on them. So as you can see, even in this really simple demo, soak is a really simple tool to use. It's designed to take the complication out of your knits and out of caring for your fibers, and it's designed to make you love them and have them last a really long time. So enjoy.